So this is fun, streaming here. Get to catch some of the march after all. I'm on the other side of the fence though. An older woman came by saying that she heard they had guns and that she was scared. And she's afraid that if someone came up on them with guns, then people start shooting and everyone gets hurt. I was able to tell her about what happened recently and how no shots were fired because they know what they're doing. It is such a last resort. I know, it's intimidating, and that's what people can't handle.
Okay, thank you, y'all. That was really fun. Thank you. So we have a few more people that, wonderful speakers that are going to speak, and it's actually very important that you stay. The reason why I say this is because we have some youth here that would like to speak, and it is very hard to speak, but the fact that they're coming up here and wanting to share their stories is very, very important, yeah? So what we're going to do is we're going to walk over here and we're going to support the other people who'd like to share their stories. Yeah? Awesome. Let's go over here. Thank you.
Awesome direction. Thank you, Princess. Now I need to go get ready for the sound over here. So, hope you enjoyed the march with Carissa Ninja streaming, and I think maybe some others. Definitely a few on Instagram, as there usually are.
So there is ice tonight and something else happening at 9 o'clock. Ice is supposed to be at like 11 or something. I don't know if I'm gonna go.
Gonna park my stream right here.
Obviously, I have to.
Thanks for hanging out.
Go back home first.
I'll be back to say hi and show you around some more in a minute.
Which we just got picked up by GHS. Shit, right? Oh my goodness, no way. When did it happen? Do you know when it happened?
Yeah, I saw that. That's crazy.
I need one of these at my house. Can you Oh, it's the best.
Pizza, there's pizza.
Grab the chair before something opportunistic gets it real quick.
What's that?
Grab the chair before something opportunistic gets it.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, feel better if I would today. Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
Where's the energy at?
Work a shot!
Say it again. Those lives matter!
Black Lives Matter!
Black Lives Matter.
This is ready for. I'm live right here, by the way, just so you know.
Oh, thank you. Sorry we lost you. No, it's okay. Felt bad at first. Just like ditched you.
Are y'all, is it you as the mic?
Is it coming from the car?
Are we getting the stuff off the truck, or I think the people who are helping get it.
Yeah, they're bringing, I saw them on the, yeah.
We got Mike right here when you need. Do you need this mic going?
Yeah, because he can start the speech.
Yeah, here you go.
I
guess I'll just turn it way up.
Hi, y'all. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Okay. So if we can gather over here, please, we're going to start doing some speeches by some wonderful, lovely people.
All right.
Yeah, the mic is there.
Oh, well, I'm not here.
The mic is there. I don't know what else to do.
I'm gonna
Don't ask me. This is why it's
I'm thinking, but I'll probably go last just because I see my videos like that.
Yeah, just like.
Or we can play. Oh, thanks. Yeah.
Until next time.
You guys got it. I guess guys have a microphone so we can take a little bit. It's so weird.
But you think you're going to shoot an innocent crowd of biracial bitches? Like, you got
We're not doing anything wrong.
What?
Oh yeah, I want some ribs.
Boy, you was about to speak and now you gonna get some ribs.
There's only so many ribs.
Boy, what the hell? Y'all better get me some though, for sure. Like, I'm up here.
I'll smoke a cigarette. I smoke weed before I talk.
Are you ready? What?
I
love wine.
What kind? There's mango,
I have a mango. You're so sweet.
mango. That's my least favorite one. So
Really?
I love it.
Thank you.
Great.
Should I?
Would you like a drink?
I'm okay. I got water.
To respect the speakers, if y'all over there that are just chilling, can y'all come over here, please? Like, let's respect our black speakers. Thank you. I ain't trying to be shady because I know some of my crew is over there, so y'all better get your black asses over here. I'm not trying to be shady. I'm not trying to be like that, but come on now. I despise you. You nasty folk.
Excuse me?
I got my screen going right now, so I'm trying to manage things.
Okay, I can do that too.
I was just going to sit on the street.
All right, buddy. Got some speeches coming up.
Okay. I'm trying to back away so I'm not like in your face.
I can do before or after, whatever. I have
Whatever you feel comfortable.
yeah, I have just something real short to say about it. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll put yours first, and then I'll play your second, and then I'll play my last that are still around. Because I feel like you guys have better, like mine are from live stream.
Everybody, thanks for checking in.
Yeah.
Here at Rev Hall.
Yeah.
I mean, he's we went with your stream.
Getting ready to have some speeches and show some
Makes more
films.
sense if I talk after.
No, I'm just like, okay. Yeah, my internet must be kind of
How's it going?
Hey, pretty good. How you been?
Pretty good.
Good job on the movie. I don't think I've seen you since before then.
All right, y'all.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
People are still mingling and like
I'm trying
getting
to
some
film
food and
that.
stuff, but I'm just gonna start just so this so these speeches don't go too late into the night.
Thank you.
So before I was so rudely interrupted by the white supremacists with the long gun.
There you go.
Yeah.
Boo. That's so corny. Like, this is so corny. You're sitting on your balcony with a long gun, bro. Like,
What?
we're.
Oh, I have
What
a
is
headline.
wrong with people?
Oh, it's very,
So,
it's like a,
I forgot where I exactly was at telling y'all about George's life, but yeah, he was so George Floyd really wanted to go to the NBA. He got caught up in the street life, and he got arrested, went to prison for 5 years. He got out, got in the straight and narrow, and then at some point he decided he was going to move to Minneapolis because he was getting in too much trouble in Houston. He couldn't stay out of trouble, so he's like, I gotta go. So he went to Minneapolis. He ended up getting involved in the church. He started helping out his community, doing community outreach. He was going around his neighborhood with another church folk, electing people to get grocery deliveries to their house, and also inviting them to Bible studies. So like, this man was like really on the right path in life. Then he got a security job at a homeless shelter. And allegedly, he often would escort a lot of the women to their cars just to make sure they were safe. So that is who George Floyd was. And then the pandemic ended up hitting. And next thing you know, allegedly he tries to buy some cigarettes with a fake $20 bill. An hour later, George Floyd took his last breath. So I just want y'all to like sit for a second and just think about all of the light, all of the love, all of the joy that George Floyd brought into this world, brought into other people's lives. He had 5 children. He had a community that loved him. He had a family that loved him. Just think about that for a second and how that was stolen. He was trying to do right. He was a beautiful black man on this earth trying to survive in a white supremacist world. And it wasn't enough for him. And it's not enough for so many people. But he made an impact in this world. He did make a fucking impact in this world. George Floyd's spirit cracked this world wide open. George Floyd's spirit cracked this world wide open. And without him, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. We wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have some of the friends that I have right now. I wouldn't have some of the community that I have right now. I wouldn't be involved in some of the mutual aid efforts that I'm in right now. I didn't even know what mutual aid was until after George Floyd. Who can relate to that? Didn't even know what that was. I didn't even believe in ACAB before George Floyd. Anybody can relate to that? I wasn't pushing for abolition. But George Floyd's spirit not only cracked this world, like, his spirit demanded something. And it demanded that we finally take a fucking stand against white supremacy and racism and capitalism and crush this shit forever. Because the lynching that George Floyd underwent is a lynching of the highest degree. We all saw that video. We all saw how brutal and heartless and callous that was. I'm so fucking glad that we flooded the streets. Can you imagine if nobody cared? If people were indifferent? if people were callous, I thank God that we flooded the fucking streets. And also what I've realized is his legacy has really popped the top on the fallacy of reform. We are not reforming this shit. We are not reforming this shit. It looks like the system cannot reform itself. We've tried to reform the police for hundreds of years. We've also tried black faces in high places. We tried Obama. What did he do? He dropped a bomb every 8 minutes for 8 years straight. Let me repeat that. He dropped a bomb every 8 minutes for 8 years straight. You can look this up. So the black faces in high places shit doesn't work. Because what ends up happening is these black politicians, these black professional class, middle class people, they end up getting corrupted by the system just like cops get corrupted by the police force. Right? They just get corrupted by it. What ends up happening is they get too accommodated to the militarized police state, too accommodated to the capitalist economy, too accommodated to the market-driven culture that's tied with celebrity status, fame, power, all this superficial shit. And then what we got is a neo-fascist gangster in the White House, in Donald Trump, who really didn't give a fuck. He exacerbated fascism. He exacerbated white supremacy. And then we elected Biden, spineless cuck. Like, he's a neoliberal warmonger who wrote the crime bill, who's responsible for the incarceration of thousands of black people. These people are not helping the system. Reform is out. Understand something. I've said this before. If you are pushing for reform, you're pushing for the status quo. What is the status quo? The status quo is killing black people. The status quo is sweeping houseless people. The status quo is police harassing our communities and terrorizing us. So if you're pushing for reform, you're on the wrong page. You need to do some fucking research. If you are pushing for abolition, you are pushing for liberation. The difference is crucial. Reform is not going to save us. It's never had that promise. It will never have that promise. We have to abolish the police. Period. There are going to be steps towards that. George Floyd's legacy opened that wide open, y'all. For me, it absolutely did. Who believes in abolition here? Raise your hand.
Yeah. Hello.
I see you. We have to abolish the police. Some things and there's steps that we have to take. Defunding the police, we all know that. Defund the police. Say it with me. Defund the police. Defund the police. Take that fucking money out of their pockets, put it into healthcare. Put it into things that are actually going to keep our community safe. Put it into housing. Get these homeless people off the streets. We spend way too much money on the police when we could solve homelessness. We could literally solve it. And most of the time, these police are just spending their time arresting and harassing homeless people. It's so fucking backwards. It's unbelievably backwards. So, the next thing I really want to talk about, I'm going to touch on this real quick. We need to get rid of qualified immunity. Raise your hand. And there's no shame in this if you don't know. Raise your hand if you don't know what qualified immunity is. Yes. Yes. Niggas is on top of it. Thank God. We have to get rid of that shit. They're just dodging accountability with it. In the last 8 years, 98% of police killings have not resulted in any charges. Derek Chauvin was an anomaly. The Minneapolis Police Department, speaking of Derek Chauvin, before George Floyd was killed, they went through this program called the 8 Can't Wait Police Reform Program. And Derek Chauvin still managed to kneel on George Floyd's neck for 9 minutes. That was a clear indication that we have to get the police out of the streets. We have to. And it's going to take defunding the police, and it's going to take stripping them of the fucking shield that protects them from being accountable. These police roll around this city not afraid to pull their gun and shoot at people. You know why? Because of qualified immunity. If they don't have qualified immunity, they're not going to be that fucking bold. They're going to think twice. Because if we're able to sue them personally, take money out of their pocket, oh, they're not going to be shooting at us like that. Who knows who Robert Delgado is? Raise your hand. Y'all realize qualified immunity is literally shielding Zachary DeLong from being held accountable?
Yeah.
Do you think Zachary DeLong would be fucking posted up behind that tree, sniping him with an M16 if he thought in his mind he'd be held accountable? Fuck no! So, there is a bill for qualified immunity out right now. Please, research that shit. We have to push for that. That is one of the key things we have to strip away from the police. Technically, it is a reform, but it's a reform that moves towards abolition. Any reform that is giving cops money or just rearranging their funds is shit, trash. But if we are taking money out of their pockets and actually being able to hold them accountable, we're slowly breaking down the police system. We're slowly getting the money back into our pockets where it belongs. And we're slowly and gradually making our communities more safe for all people, especially black people. This is a path towards liberation. I want black liberation. I want us to be liberated. And it's going to take abolition. That's what it's going to take. Harriet Tubman was not fighting for fucking reform. Malcolm X was not fighting for reform. Frederick Douglass was not fighting for reform. We have to keep pushing this shit. We have to keep pushing this shit. And white folks, I know there's a lot of white folks out here.
John Brown wasn't fighting for reform.
Your charge is to take our voices that you're hearing out here and you amplify them in white spaces. You take our voices and you amplify them in spaces where my voice is not going to be accepted or not going to be respected. The reason why we love this fucking community so much, why we love this protest culture, is because there's so much love here. There's so much love. Racism doesn't really exist a whole lot in these spaces. Of course it does a little bit, because there's a lot of unpacking and internalized racism and implicit bias that you still have to unpack, right? But there's a lot of love here. We need y'all to go create these same spaces for the white people, right? We need y'all to go create those spaces elsewhere. That is your charge, because this is not our fucking problem. White supremacy is not our problem. It's y'all problem. Y'all created it. Y'all got us here. Y'all need to get us out. And black people and brown people, indigenous people, we are going to help you, because we don't have a choice. Our lives literally depend on it. But we need y'all to literally start holding your white people more accountable. Picking out the racism that you see. Calling it out at every single turn you see it. Talking to your boss. Checking it at all times. Because understand, until the police force is disbanded and abolished, my life is still in danger. You understand that? Princess's life is still in danger. Truth's life is still in danger. When we move throughout this world, just for existing, our life is in danger. So we need y'all to do the work, continue to unpack, continue to do the fucking work. Keep learning about qualified immunity. Keep pressing to defund the police, because our lives are counting on it. We don't want to see another George Floyd. That's about all I have to say, y'all. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate all of y'all for being attentive and just being out here. Rest in power, rest in peace, rest in love. Rest in power, rest in peace, rest in love. Rest in power, rest in peace, rest in love.
George Floyd.
Fist up. Rest in power, rest in peace, rest in love. George Floyd.
Can we just give another applause for Jedi, please? So I have a very special person here with me tonight. Our group has been working very hard on trying to work with the youth because the youth is going to be our future. The youth in 10, 15 plus years, they're going to be making the decisions for us, me included. So I have somebody here with me today, a very special person to me, who she says that I inspire her, but little does she know she inspires me. So she gonna come up here and talk about whatever she'd like to talk about today. So give it up, Coco.
Hi, my name is Coco. I'd like to preference this by saying I have Tourette's, and if I stutter, it's just going to happen, and it might go on for a little bit, and I just try to move forward as quickly as I can. I remember exactly what I was doing when the news about George Floyd came through. I was building a puzzle, and I remember thinking, why? I remember thinking, how could someone do this? But then I remember thinking, this sounds really familiar, and this has happened before. And I realized how many people have died because of police brutality, because someone took their power and someone used it against someone's life. I've never cherished life as much as other people, but to think that you can end a life with your own bare hands, it terrifies me, because life at the end of the day is beautiful. Life at the end of the day is beautiful. It's the one chance we get. Some people are happy and some people are not, but we're still all living and we are still all lucky to be alive. And the fact that someone could take that away from us is terrifying to me. We're out here peacefully protesting, and you know what? Sometimes I am still terrified for my life. That's why I stick around Princess, an inspiration to me, because I don't sometimes feel safe. I'm scared that if I get alone, if I'm by myself because of my skin color, because of something I can't control and I was born with, that I will be killed. And it haunts me. I grew up in a completely white family. The only person in my family was who was black was my dad, and the rest of his family is across the world. So I never knew all of the things that I was being discriminated against were because of my race. I really didn't. I thought that people hated me. And they did, but not for the reason I thought they would, because I'm disabled. When I think about the word justice, it's a confusing word for me because a lot of the time it's used incorrectly. What is justice but just the right thing to do? Shouldn't justice just be already there? Shouldn't justice just be what we do naturally, what someone pays for? In the courts, the person that murdered George Floyd finally got sentenced. And that is amazing. But you know who didn't get sentenced? The thousands of other officers hurting people that, you know what, we don't know about because they're all covered up.
Say it.
There's so many people that we will never know were killed or were hurt or were attacked by police. There's nothing that we can do now but look towards the future. When I went to my first protest, I wasn't expecting to speak at all. I'm so glad I did, though, because it opened my world. I never thought that someone could relate to the things that I had been relating to because I grew up around the people that I did, who couldn't experience the same things that I did. I have an amazing group of friends, but they're all white. They're amazing. They're amazing friends and they support me every day, but they can't sympathize with this because they've never experienced this racial discrimination that I have. And I finally found my people, and it was at a protest for Black Lives Matter. And it was amazing. I met Princess and I met Tiliana and I met all of these people. I'm sorry. I did. I'm sorry.
You got this, baby. We love you. Shit.
I gotta say, I'm improvising so hard right now. That guy, that guy stole my speech. I want to say that guy stole my entire speech. I had that whole thing. Oh God.
We love you. Just keep talking.
And when I went up to speak that first time, it was because someone else had spoken and said they had never gotten their hair, or I had spoken and said that I had never gotten my hair done. And I cried when the people that offered me to get my hair done did what they did.
Because you deserve it.
As a community, I have never seen anything more beautiful than what I have during this past time. The world snapped when George Floyd was murdered. And it snapped for a good reason. And it opened so many doors that should have been opened a long damn time ago, but thank God they're open now.
I love you. Give me goosebumps,
Thank
baby.
God for the community. Thank God for everyone who's here listening to me. Because you know what? I love all of you. All of you are so amazing. All of you.
I love you, Coco.
All of you make me proud to be Black. All of you make me. I can say it. I can say it and not hesitate. I have experienced so much racial discrimination that I could not say the words, I am proud to be Black.
Don't cry, I'll cry. Don't you cry. Don't you cry. I will cry.
Because I was scared. Because I was scared of being Black. Because I knew how much it hurts. It hurts so much sometimes when you can't control something and someone just hates you for it. Doesn't it? Like when someone says they don't like your looks or someone doesn't like your face. You can't change that. I didn't choose to be born this way, but I am proud to be this way.
Yes! Yes, baby!
What I want to change, I just want us to keep going.
Yeah.
I want us to keep rioting, to keep fighting, and I don't want to stop until we don't have to say another name. I don't want to say another name.
Yes!
I don't want that list to continue, and I will not stop marching until there's not another name on that damn list.
Yes! Baby!
Thank you so much for letting me speak today.
No, thank you. Thank you for... Yes!
You're such an inspiration.
This is what I mean. This is how she inspires me, y'all. Come on now. Black youth, they matter here. Black youth, they matter here. Black youth, they matter here. Thank you, y'all. Just give another round of applause for Coco.
What's next?
No, they're...
Are they here?
We got Carissa. Who's next? We got it. All right.
We have some special guests.
Hi guys, my name is Jad, and let's start by chanting "Free, Free Palestine."
Free, free Palestine.
Thank you. So, I came here and I will keep coming here, guys, because I know you guys have the same feelings that we really deep down we feel as Arabs and as Middle Easterns. You know, everything she said was very amazing and awesome, and we really can relate, you know, because we feel the exact same thing. I mean, at the end of the day, the same thing that happened to George Floyd happened more than once, actually, in Palestine, you know, in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. It's not really a conflict, it's an occupation, it's an invasion of a country. You know, yesterday I was having a conversation with someone who's pro-Israel, and they were saying some dumb arguments about, well, I mean, you shouldn't hate all Jews because of that. And that's true, you know? And then she gave me an example saying that, well, if my brother goes and steals your house and kills your kids and whatever, are you gonna come kill me? I was like, no, that's very wrong. And I agree with you, that's very wrong to do that. But ultimately, whose fault it is? It is your brother's fault. And I was saying that, you know, the only solution to this is if your brother and we get justice. If your brother gets prosecuted, then we really are gonna have peace, you know? Because our, you know, nature as humans is that if we don't get justice, we won't make peace. We need justice in order for us to get peace. And people in Palestine, they're really not getting their justice. So how are we gonna expect peace to be there? Israelis themselves, they know deep inside that they have no right to be there, that they have, you know, they shouldn't be there, you know. And the reason I came up to you guys, I said that before, and I will say that forever, because I want this to stick in every mind that is, you know, working, you know. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. That is why you guys need to care, because you are facing injustice everywhere you are because of the injustice going there. Everything affects, you know, as humanity, to reach peace, we need justice. So I invite you guys to come tomorrow at 4 p.m. At City Hall to join us to free Palestine. Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Thank you.
Yes, princess, get up there.
What am I supposed to say?
Where are you at, Braxton?
Whatever you want.
Braxton. Are we doing an outro?
Oh,
I think you need to watch something now. Speak into it. Is it working? What'd you do, princess?
I don't know. You told me to grab the mic and I did. Girl, what the
Is it
hell?
working?
I don't know what you want from me. Yeah. Hi, everybody.
I just said, is it working?
No. Hello? No.
You messed it. Oh, my phone died? I'm so sad because that means that live is gone.
The video went down too.
Yeah, it's gone. I said it's gone. Can I get? I will give you Facebook. I can't get mine.
Check.
Video is pretty good too.
While I'm speaking, can you get ready to play my video? Yeah, I mean, I'm not in a hurry. Alright. I mean, yeah, you played that way too. I'm sure it works either way. I'm sure it works either way.
Just right before she was like, I'm not gonna get this. Is this us ending it?
What up, y'all?
So,
I am Blacktacular. My name is Ashanti Lumumba. It means warrior of wisdom. Try living up to that one. I was named after the Ashanti tribe in Ghana, which is the the only tribe to have beaten the British in a war multiple times. And the name means warrior. And I was also named after Patrice Lumumba, who was the first democratic prime minister of the Congo, who freed the Congo. He's like a beer salesman who just went around like starting a revolution because you couldn't really protest. He had since he sold beer, he could go to all the little stores And he could tell little stories about starting a revolution, and then store owners could, as everybody came in the store, they could tell them about it. So as he sold beer, he would get all the store owners together in their little things, and they'd all go back and tell their community. And I don't know. So yeah, I've been protesting for quite a while. I think I started with Kendrick James, so that was like 2002ish. I wrote a little list of things that happened in May throughout history, Black history. On May 18th, 1896, was the Plessy versus Ferguson case, and that was when they decided that separate but equal was okay.
Sorry, I neglected my stream.
You know, they're all like, "Oh, all men are created equal, but we're not being treated equally. So, but separate but equal is okay." That resulted in us being separated even further from white people, and that kind of separation led us to have our own towns and our own cities and our own sections and neighborhoods, and led to redlinings. We couldn't get property in other people's in the same neighborhoods, and they wouldn't give us loans, so we couldn't own anything. But there was a town a long time ago, right next to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and a lot of this has been buried, but it's coming back up again because it happened 100 years ago. After the whole separate but equal thing went down, there was a town called Greenwood. It was just outside Tulsa, Oklahoma. And on May 31st, 1921, just 100 years ago, in a couple days, a black boy, a 19-year-old, somehow touched a white woman in an elevator, 17-year-old in an elevator. There's different reports on what actually happened in elevators. Some people say he stepped on her foot. Some people say the elevator jerked and he touched her arm. But whatever it was, she left that elevator screaming. Probably because of her internalized fear of black people, because people have been taught to be feared for centuries. A bunch of white people came together and got together and went into that neighborhood. They brought guns and torches, and they burnt that entire neighborhood to the ground. They had airplanes in the air dropping turpentine bombs on Greenwood, just right across the train tracks from Tulsa. They killed over 300 people. They locked a bunch of people up in different weird places. Thousands of people were displaced. And it was buried in history forever. I didn't hear about it until like a couple of years ago. And I am in this Black Lives Matter struggle all the damn time. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, it was still even another 33 years after that, on May 17th, 1954, that Brown versus Board of Education decided that separate but not equal is not okay. So they were overturned segregation, but you know, we still had to fight and still had to fight and still had to fight and still had to fight. 13 years later was that from May to October, there was like 40 riots and 100 other disturbances surrounding basically what we're doing now, Black Lives Matter, and making sure that black people are actually free and have the freedom to do things like write and vote and participate in society as much as everybody else. Yeah, there were some riots on May 12th, 1980. 15 deaths. It was one of the worst riots since the Watts riots, and that was in Florida. Let's go. Let's switch up again. All right, we'll get only a couple more. May 13th, 1985, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. They bombed another entire neighborhood. They call it the Move bombing. There's some Black Lives Matter type people there, some Black Panthers, and they call themselves Move. And they had their own little community there, and they bombed the F out of those guys. Just dropping bombs in the middle of the city on a neighborhood. The police did that. And I think they used makeshift. They used makeshift CF4 given to them by the FBI. That was a move, right? On May 5th, 2003, the police right here in Portland, Oregon, the police shot Kendrick James over a traffic stop, and that brought me out to the streets. On May 25th, 2020, George Floyd was murdered, and that brought us out to the streets. Each and every one of you fine people. We keep having these same pushbacks over and over and over and over again, and hopefully little by little it gets better. I've seen some differences from what we did, from what we started. There are a couple things we have accomplished. We did get the police out of our schools. We did get Portland police off of TriMet. We did temporarily defund a very racist section of the Portland police that has been known, like the audits showed by numbers, they were just pulling over lots of black people and they weren't really stopping any shootings. That was the gun violence reduction team. Last year we went out, and then this is what it takes to make that kind of change. It takes grit and perseverance and standing up for yourself in the middle of an actual war zone. You saw that dude over there with the fucking gun out, right? You have to remember that every single time you're at a protest, you need to keep your head on the swivel and keep your friends safe. Keep us safe. We keep us safe. We keep us safe. If you're just lollygagging out here drinking White Claws and you know, hanging out with your friends and just socializing and not paying attention to what's going on around you in every single block as you go around it, and what's happening in the back of the line, what's happening in the front of the line, if you're not paying attention, we're not safe. My homegirl Summer, she got killed in Seattle. My homegirl Des got severely injured. Yeah, Diaz, our homie Diaz. Sorry, I met them as a woman, but they have since decided that they have some other things going on. So anyway, I'll show you guys this video. This is a video I put together of what happened basically at this exact time last year.
Tomorrow I can act fast, but the cops come through as we demonstrate. As you know, they always do their best to escalate. Things use explosives and injure the police, including just this past weekend, permanently blinding 3 federal officers with lasers. Assembly, when they been abusing authority for the last 4 centuries. Flashbang, shield, baton,
That's the second request. Should we just do it again? All right.
You didn't kind of get ripped off at the first time. I know, right?
All right, so the volume is good now, yeah?
Yeah. I was video creator myself. I wanted to get it.
Sorry about that. Encore.
Some weapons free. Gas mask, toss them in the backpack. But a fat sack and some earlocks and some earplugs. Tomorrow I can act fast, but the cops come through as we demonstrate. As you know, they always do their best to escalate. Drone things use explosives. And injured police, including just this past weekend. Permanently blinding 3 federal officers with lasers. Assembly, when it is authority for the last 4 centuries. Use the reaper bullets, flashbangs, shields, batons. This cop in your dress like he's out here to defuse a bomb. Against the girls and umbrellas, trying to tell you to have some empathy. As they ramp the intensity, and desperately, ruthlessly, going an arresting spree. Well, eventually, she'll be right back here, and I'm gonna screaming, I can't breathe. You are projecting fear and violence nationwide in pursuit of obvious political objectives. Shame on you. Please release your minds when it caught fire to the times we're living in. Don't be giving in to the merry-go-round of clowns that sound so vivid when they're pumped to your television speakers. Because you know today the media ain't nothing but a freak show. They're a 3-ring circus whose purpose is knee-jerk us and to hurt us and the feeling so worthless. So we're just gonna spear to the clouds. Your fears and your doubts. What fears to me now is that a fear and a couch is not the only way to live, but the best way to die slowly. And if we could only get the fuck up out of here and say what we feel out loud. Use our voices and our spirits to energize our crowd. I'm always smiling, or screaming as loud as can be. That are tempter, my y'all. We are not all free. Now if you're hearing me, now if you're feeling me, I want you yelling from your belly, baby, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Yelling from your belly, baby, I can't breathe.
Yeah, just screw up like the first 10 seconds again. So, the sound is
Got some more videos we all going along.
Crowds turning violent at the federal court.
Do you want to say something first or after? John, do you want to talk before?
Yeah, I'll say something super quick. Not long-winded. Yeah.
You gotta like switch the mic and all that. I just gotta turn it on, but let's find it first.
Sorry, that's too close. I'm going to voice page. It was off though. Yo.
I had the volume up. It takes about 45 seconds. Stand over here, away from the speakers, like back where I shot you.
just takes a second to reboot. Does the same thing. Well, it's luckily it's
Check.
like a,
All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. Those of you who are, I can't even see out because the light's on me. But yeah. Get in here. Yeah, we got. This video is only 2.5 minutes. It's a trailer for a feature-length film that I directed. The way it happened was really organic, and basically I went down to the protest the very first day, and I saw people already there, like making food. There were some medics, and it seemed like everybody had their role. And I asked myself, what is my role? Is it to make ramen noodles for everybody? I actually briefly thought about that. And then I realized, wait, no, I'm a documentary filmmaker. That's my role. So I just started hitting it hard. It was the pandemic. I was, collecting unemployment in theory. I hadn't had any checks actually sent to me. But regardless, it seemed like it was the right thing to do. I started shooting every day, and about halfway through the summer, I secured funding through the Old Church Concert Hall's program, We Can Listen. And it wasn't much, as you can imagine, through something like what I just said, you would think they don't have millions of dollars. And and so basically what happened was we started stringing my footage together with interviews and everything, and I got, me being obviously a white male, it didn't really feel like my place to be the voice of the Black Lives Matter themed documentary. So I solicited the help of Julianne Johnson, who was already on the board of the Old Church's We Can Listen, and she did a magnificent job. I didn't even tell her any questions to ask. I wanted her to guide the entire structure of the narratives, and then I paired that with my footage through editing over many months. Anyway, that's what's going on. Last thing about Tipping Point is the name of the film, is that I don't know when it's going to come out. Right now, we are trying to submit it to film festivals. We could just put it out there, but we think we could reach a much larger audience if we had a few festival accolades and some proper distribution. So that's where it's at. Thanks.
Crowds turning violent at the federal courthouse this week. Many protesters claiming they've been arrested by law enforcement officers.
Night after night, we're seeing there's no slowing down.
When those cops come out and they start shooting live rounds because they're looking at everybody out here as a terrorist act, it's going to catch you off guard.
Do we get rid of the police union? Do we defund them? Do we decrease? What do we do?
There has been so many times where no warning has been given. They just start tear gassing.
I never thought I would ever be able to speak how I feel about my skin tone, and now that it's happening, I am never gonna stop.
Suggestions for solutions, and you can really shut up.
And for me, in my mind, I have to wonder if I was going to make it out of that situation. I've been through that time and time again.
What's about to come, if that goddamn president gets 4 more fucking years, it's going to be way worse than that.
You need to hate the cops because you love black people. You need to love black people more than you hate the cops.
What would it be if we stopped funding officers to be in these schools and started putting more money to counselors in these schools? Any police brutality has stopped today.
There needs to be a significant attitudinal change among the people in the country, most especially the white people in the country, about who black folks are.
Turn down the volume again before you start your video. No, turn down the volume on the computer.
Hey everybody, I'm Carissa. I made this video from a first-hand experience of the protest. I don't really want to speak on the microphone because I'm shy, but I made this video in like 5 days, so here it is. If it works.
This is Chris's video.
Systemic racism is also institutional racism and structural racism, all in one and the same. Two polar opposites, white, black, polar opposites. You really have to unlearn everything. And you need to think about that. You need to think about it. John Lewis said, unless you're willing to change everything, nothing will change. Black and brown lives don't need people to align with them that aren't willing to understand at least what it is that we are trying to accomplish. And if you don't have the willingness to even attempt to do that, you are putting black and brown lives in danger.
This is what Black Lives Matter means. To help one another, to make sure we have each other's back, and to protect each other over anything else when we know no one else will. We have to have each other's back because clearly they don't have it for us.
We need to hold our government officials accountable, and if they don't take responsibility for what is happening, what are we going to do? We will burn it down.
Police officers that have murdered people here in our city, Portland Police Bureau officers, are still on the force. We know that there's literal Nazis that we've been telling Ted Wheeler and his council about for years, like Mark Kruger, who are still employed by the police department. And we have so many people that have been in this community fighting for abolition for years. And Ted likes to pick and choose, and he likes to say, oh, I only like talking to business owners because I think that black capitalism is what will save the black community. But what we know is the abolition of capitalism is what will save black and brown lives.
Black lives don't matter, it's what they want to hear. When they kill us dead in the street, blood spilled on the pavement, system built on its language while our children live in fear. Many are dead and gone, but some of us are here. We keep trying to speak on injustice, but nobody wants to hear us. Like we still don't respect to value black like we should. After they take it, innocent life, pat on the back and tell them good. If you so called resist arresting, you're lucky if you die quick. 20 in the chest, or maybe they'll just kneel on your neck, aroused by the sound of you begging for breath. Either way, it's fine if your encounter results in death. Well, actually, it's supposed to. And yo, they try to bring hate more, but I got my brother right here. This is fucking truth. That it ain't about that. It's about love, baby. It's about rap. This is real hip hop. Trying to bring that shit back. Portland, where the fuck is you at? Yo, our city's on the map. Be on the beat. Yo, you trying to get the cops about the streets. It's time for them to abolish. And you know my flow stays polished. And I went to Evergreen State College. That's where I got my knowledge. You know I drop it. Blast like a rocket. Motherfuck the feds. Yo, man, I wanna knock their heads off. Right up off their neck. Coming through, man, these cops don't give us respect. So they are the end. It's time to have them wrap it up. I grab the microphone and wrap it up. Yo, half of my bloodline is from Africa. Snapping like a camera. Man, I'm far from an amateur. Let's go.
But I think that, you know, being in the country we're in, being the lives that we live, we romanticize the lion a lot. You know, the lion is strong, it's powerful, it's cunning, it's deceiving even in a sense, and it's the king of the jungle. When it roars, you listen. And we romanticize that.
But in a lot of ways, we never get an opportunity to romanticize the resiliency in the things that they hunt. The water buffalo is 2 tons. There is no single lion on the face of this planet that can kill a water buffalo. There is one water buffalo that can kill a single lion. Lions hunt in prides. Lions make the herd run away. The reason why the water buffaloes run away is because of thousands and millions of years of conditioning. Thousands and millions of years of being submissive and turning and running. Because the will to live is more powerful than the will to fight. But if we watch those videos closely, and we really get a chance to see the water buffalo, when they turn around, when one of their own is getting hunted, the whole herd comes back down. And they start pushing those lions off the kill. And what that symbolizes to me is that they understand their power. They realize their power. In the moment they might have been scared. In the moment they might have been submissive. In the moment they might have been prey. But as soon as they realize true power and their resilience, they can push that lion off that kill and save something. I think that we relate a lot to these animals because at the end of the day, we are animals. And a lot of instincts that they have are the same instincts that we share. And we have to change that conditioning of being submissive. And we have to change that conditioning of running and the will to live. We have to have a will to fight. We have to have a will to stand up. We have to have a will to be there for somebody when somebody's getting attacked, as what happened last night. We have to stand up for each other. White, black, yellow, brown, purple, doesn't matter what you look like. You stand up, you be the herd. And it's time to start really embracing that resiliency. If we're fighting all these days and we're putting our lives on the line for these things that we care about, when stuff gets hard, if we decide to turn the other way, that's how you get caught by the lion pride. When you separate from the group, that's how you get caught by the lion pride. Only when you stand together do they realize they cannot attack you. So we need to start really embracing the water buffalo and animals that are resilient, because we have proven through the course of history, through the course of time, that we are resilient. Let's start thinking about what we honor. Let's start thinking about what we admire. And let's admire ourselves too. Because this isn't easy. It's not what everybody wants to be doing on a beautiful, beautiful Friday afternoon. But this is mandatory. And if you ever are in that moment where you have the opportunity to make a choice and stand in it.
Like that, right back to me. I'm about to say fuck all the police. Coming, I'm mobbing right up on the streets. No shoes on my feet. J to the HDI, you know we fly. Grab on the mic and I'm kicking this shit till they die. Kicking them out, burning the system straight to the ground. You know what we bout. It's the revolution, baby, and we is just having fun. Jody and I rise like the sun, so you know we gotta get this shit done. I'm with the gang, nigga, I'm lame. My niggas out here, y'all spit the flow so insane. All of these cops, y'all they make my brain just feel like it needs to delete. Yo, I'm about to kick all these cops out my fucking streets. Out of my streets. All of these pigs ain't wanting the beef. Shout out to P to the R to the E to the F to the S. Got it on the vest and he got it on a helmet. Tell the cops that they gotta get in check. Yes, it is time for that karmic wave to come through. They living off hate, we living off love. We got the mic, keep it hot like the sun. I'm getting it done, you know what is up. I got the passion when I be rapping, making it happen. Just like Harry Potter got the magic. You know I spit this shit, don't want the static. Yo, I'm static. Might split they cabbage. Yo, I'm on the microphone, you know I'm doing hella backflips. Shit, man, it's acid. Go hit those cops, need to take some. Goddamn it, cops ain't lame ones. Niggas, yo, I'm really on one. Fuck all the boys in the blue. Taking some acid, they need to take shrooms. Both. You know what it is. Coming up top, grab the mic and I rip. I don't fuck with pigs, I get in my zone. Tell all these cops just to leave us alone. This is our streets, we don't follow your orders. We on the block and we causing disorder. Yo, we causing disorder. All of these cops get slaughtered. Yo, call up the doctor. I'm about to put him up under surgery. This is a state of emergency. Yo, you ain't never ever heard of me. Eat a cop like a damn emergency. And that's that shit I don't like. When cops just try to fight and kick us out the park for doing nothing, man, that shit is wrong. That's why I gotta grab the microphone and tell them what it do. Fuck all these police and fuck the ones who just lick some boots. Y'all can just go to hell, trying to lock us in a cell. But like I said, we got that magic and we just out here spitting spells. Yeah.
Just allow it to make you more fierce, more dedicated, more determined than ever to make sure justice is served up.
Y'all out here every day supporting this movement for a reason, because y'all know how it is and how it feels to be hurt. We all know that, and we're tired of that. Every day we come out here to try to make something happen, try to take a stand. You know, we make effort every day, we push this issue. But without y'all voices, who are not people of color, our voices are silent, we're quiet. But y'all make us stand out a whole lot more. Damn right! And the police, they know that. So when they try to come and take y'all or push y'all out and make y'all go home early, so this movement will be settled and quiet, they're trying to make a statement, but we're not gonna let that happen. We gotta be together, even if somebody has more radical views than you. If somebody wants to go tear down a slave owner's fucking whatever it's called, then what's the matter? Like I said again, we can't talk about it on the program. Make sure we're working for different things like getting militarized weapons out of the police's hands. That's what starts with defunding the police, just like that. Dismantling the police system. It starts with holding our governor accountable, holding our mayor accountable, make sure we're marching at their house. When you guys say it's your streets, don't let the police tell you where and when you can't march. That's your First Amendment right. Now this systematically racist system that was built to help keep us under is not broken. I need you guys to understand that. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to keep people of color under. Our white allies that are out here every single day, you guys don't understand how important you guys are to this whole entire process. And we really appreciate you guys coming out here, because you guys don't have to be out here. You feel me? Every white ally that's out here right now is out here by choice. They don't have to fight. They can walk away right now and their lives will be just the same. So give it up for your white allies that are coming out here fighting for us people of color.
I've had a lot of experiences in my life where I was not treated like a regular person. Where my life didn't really matter. So I was a number, I was a statistic, I was just a kid who fucked up, but it doesn't matter because he's black. But every single person out here is a reminder that people can change, societies can change, communities can change, systems can change. And I appreciate the fuck out of all of you. And that goes double for white people because, I mean, honestly, you guys are the people who get listened to the most, for better or worse. Your voices matter to people who don't want to listen to me.
We've been out here talking about defund the police. Well, the police have been killing us for a very long time. It's not something new. They just hide it differently, which is why, obviously, thank you technology. We have streamers. We have multiple people posting over. We can't hide the lies anymore. Thank you. So, keep that fire, guys. We have to keep it moving. We have to keep it going because, it's not gonna leave. We have to make it leave.
Ever since, even before George Floyd's protest happened, I was so enraged with all the injustices and all the inequities black people face. And that's why we're here today, to dismantle their system. Because this whole building and everything that they're designing as a justice center is not justice. It's injustice. All they do is incarcerate black men and women and people of color. And I'm fucking tired of that. A riot is the language of the unheard. And they will continue not listening to us until we speak the language that they listen to. Why to be the end of people of color. It's to come together. And we have to come together and unite and show this system that is completely not broken. It was meant to dismantle us. In 1865, when slavery was abolished, they brought policing so they can arrest black people, because the only way that black people were bought into slavery was if they went to jail and they were incarcerated. That's why our numbers are keep going up.
George Floyd! Whose streets it is? Our streets! Whose streets it is? Our streets! Whose streets it is? Our streets! And we're gonna hold them down until the wheels fall off.
The reason why we're being wrongly portrayed is because of what we're doing right here. So that's all I have to say.
So what's next, Marissa? Well, all right. We could have more. I do have one more. If anybody's down for another one. Hopefully I can actually get it to come up on YouTube, because I didn't download it. Not this live stream. So this is about 45 minutes long. There's some good stuff in the first like 15-20 minutes. And you know, it's up to you guys if you want to stick around or not. Because I think this will be a good way to close out. I think one of the best, most magical nights of last year in protest.
You can kind of see the sign there. It says lead circle.
Just G now. That's what D. D minor. To the B flat. G minor. I know you're
Before we get started, I would like to also just kind of set the tone. We're kind of imagining this to be a sort of mobile meditation, a virtual form of meditation where we're coming together and we're healing and we're providing just enough disturbance, but welcoming humans into that by still holding a tone of sorts of restoration in our streets So I'd love if everyone could do our best to embody that however we embody that as we start to stroll and as we start to take our steps in this process. Before we do that, we're going to have an offering from a loved one, and they are going to share a bit of a dance of sorts, a war dance, and I just want to allow everyone to see that there's ways to embody this battle that we are facing in different forms, in different languages, in different expressions. And even when we sit here and we're just breathing and just strolling down the street, we are in battle. This is still the battle. And so don't allow yourself to feel as though you're not contributing to the fight tonight, because this is the fight.
waited your whole life for. This is the opportunity you need to use your talents and your passions to do something that means something. We're in a time that, though it's hard, it is beautiful and it is bountiful, and your destiny is just a moment away at any given time, and that's not to take for granted, that's not to be callous, that's to just keep with you at all times. We won't go home, we won't go home, caught a po-po, but we won't go home. This is for George Floyd, this is for Breonna Taylor, this is for Patrick Kendall, this is for Titi Gully, this is for Tamir Rice, this is for all the names I can't remember, because why do I have to be able to remember 1,000 names like it's a history test? There's more names for every city. Me and my friends talk, we say, you remember that person from there in Baltimore? There are multiple people in every city, every year. Every year. Last night, here. Every day for us is a struggle. So I know for me and all the other black people here, this is not some, hey, we're in this shit right now. This is some, we got no other choice. This is a moment. We're striking this chord because we have no other choice. This is the only moment we have. If y'all go home, cool. You know who's not going home? Are you going home? No. I'm not going home. You know why? Because as soon as this ends, people ask me, are you afraid to get arrested? Are you afraid to get killed? I'm going to get arrested and killed every day. Every day! This movement ain't nothing new for us. So we won't go home. 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 It's a no worries. It's a no worries. It's a no worries. Said it's a no worries. Welcome to the 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 no worries.
Hi. I'm sorry.
It's a revolution. Yeah. It's a revolution. 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 You say I'm going simple. It's a revolution. I don't know how to do shit. It's a revolution. And so we on the movement. It's a revolution. We don't know what we're doing. We ain't going home. I call my mama on the phone. Like I got lost in my love. We won't go home. We won't go home. You call it a po-po, but we won't go home. We won't go home. We won't go home. You call it a po-po, but we won't go home. We won't go home. my life, for the rest of your life, the rest of our children's life, it's not going to be over. Until we all look the same color, which I don't know if that is the progressive society, these issues will never fully go away. It's about resilience. It's about being willing to listen. It's about trusting yourself, your intuition, and those around you. Because this is a fight. This is spiritual warfare, and it will last your and my entire life if we need to see the changes that we need to see pass through. By the time I die, I won't see everything I want to see pass through. I know that. I will die with hope for my children. We all will. But if we don't fight now, then they have no hope. Right now. Right now. Every day. From here on out, how do you get involved? How do you go forward? How do you make this a part of your life? Like we said already, this is church. This is how you need to participate. How are you disrupting your neighborhoods? How are you making people uncomfortable with the truth of your reality? This is what it looks like for me. Huh? How are you going to do that every day? Because that's what it's going to take.
It is cold. We will still fight. We will still grow. When it gets hot and it gets cold, we will still fight. We will still grow. When it gets hot and it gets cold, we will still fight. We will still grow. And we'll also take a left.
Everyone go ahead and take a nice deep breath. Go ahead and take another one. Let's take one more. To just feel the sensation inside of your body right now as we continue to move forward. I want you to bring your attention to your feet and just feel your feet and the sensations pulsing through them. Follow that feeling up through your legs. Be grateful for the fact you have both still. Bring that feeling and sensation up through your body, up through your organs, your liver, your intestines, your heart, up through your lungs. Let that sensation travel through your arms, through your biceps, your triceps, your elbows. Just register the sensations in your body. Feel the aliveness in all of these parts of your body. Your beautiful, divine, sacred body. Let that feeling extend into your forearms, your radius, your ulna, through your hands and fingertips. Feel the sensations of your fingernails. Tap into that feeling. Bring awareness back into your body, up to your neck, up to your throat, into your head, your jaw. If your jaw is clenched right now, relax your jaw. If your shoulders are clenched right now, relax your shoulders. Feel the sensations in your lips, your nose, your eyes. Bring your awareness and attention into your pineal gland, the center of your brain. Feel the power of your humanity. Take a deep breath. Breathe out. Sit in gratitude for this vessel that you are walking in that is temporary. We will not have this vessel forever. Be grateful that we still have it
off a little early, but
this is still powerful, that it still holds tremendous energy and magic.
Yeah, so yeah, I streamed this, I live streamed it last night, like a premiere to replay.
Recognize,
so it's on there.
as Christian was saying earlier, this is spiritual warfare. The powers that think they are wish to deplete our energy, wish to deplete our resources.
Yes, we're all done. Thank you for coming out.
It is extremely important that we come together and be appreciative
Well, we're definitely inspired to do
of
more
our
of these,
lives,
so
of our bodies,
we're going to do that.
of our energy, replenish, restore that energy.
Okay, buddy, we're going to start wrapping up.
Any tension you may be feeling in any of your body, try to pinpoint it, feel.
Okay, so actually on this night or last night, last year was my first time doing my multi-stream thing, or one of my first times just like protest multi-streams. This is before woke existed at all, and I called it the crowd stream. And yeah, it's part of what was the beginning of me coming out here for all of this. So thank you everybody for watching, and we'll be back again soon, and we'll do more events like this, because tonight was definitely a real success in the true sense of the word, not like people were saying about Tuesday. So I'm glad that you were all here with us honoring George Floyd, and thank you mods. I'm sorry I haven't been able to check in on the chat because I've been so busy. It's cold and we still have a bunch of gear to break down, so I'm gonna let you all go. Thanks again for tuning in. See you again actually tomorrow for Palestine. So have a good night, y'all. I have to take you with me though while I shut down my stream. So I'm not very organized at the moment. I'm a little scattered with all this stuff going on. But doing events like this is something that I have a lot of experience with. So I'm glad to be able to bring my experience here tonight to help make this happen. Thanks for being here with me. Good night.